The two people I trusted most in this world were in my bed together: my wife of 9 years and my best friend of 20. I found out on a Tuesday afternoon, and by Friday, they both wished I hadn't. My name is James. I'm 43 years old, and this is a story of the worst week of my life and exactly what I did about it. Daniel and I met in seventh grade, 29 years of friendship, standing next to each other at funerals and weddings and everything in between. He was the best man at mine. I remember standing at the altar watching Rachel walk toward me, and I looked over at Daniel, and he had tears in his eyes. Actual tears. I thought that was love. I was wrong about what it was. Rachel and I had been married 9 years when it started. I didn't know that at the time. I found out later it had been going on for 14 months before that. Tuesday afternoon, 14 months of dinners where we all sat at the same table, of Sunday afternoons watching football with Daniel on my couch in my house, of Rachel kissing me goodbye in the morning and Daniel shaking my hand and calling me brother. 14 months. I found out by accident. I came home in the middle of the day because I'd forgotten my laptop. I walked in through the back door. I heard voices upstairs. I assumed the TV was on. I called out Rachel's name. Nobody answered. I walked upstairs. I pushed open the bedroom door. That was the moment I stopped loving them both. Not rage, not tears, just silence. And then something very cold settled in my chest. I turned around, walked back down the stairs, picked up my laptop from the hallway table, got in my car, and drove back to work. I sat through the rest of that presentation, 45 minutes. I smiled, I shook hands with clients. I said the right things at the right moments. My colleague told me afterward it was the best presentation I'd ever given. I have no memory of a single word I said. That evening I checked into a hotel. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall. And then I started thinking, not about what I'd lost, about what I was going to do next. I called my attorney that night, told him everything in 2 sentences. He said, "Don't touch anything joint yet. Don't move money. Don't confront anyone. Give me 72 hours." I gave him 72 hours. In those 72 hours, I learned three things. First, Rachel and I had a joint business account connected to the company I had built over 12 years. Significant balance. Second, Daniel was my company's primary contractor, billing us monthly for 3 years through a contract I had personally signed. Third, Rachel had been listed as a secondary signatory on that same account for the past 14 months. 14 months. The same 14 months. My attorney called on the third morning. We talked for 2 hours. When I walked out of that office, I knew exactly what the next 30 days were gonna look like. I went home that evening for the first time since Tuesday. Rachel was in the kitchen. She'd been crying. She started talking the moment I walked in. Explanations. Apologies. The word mistake more times than I could count. I let her finish. Then I sat down across from her. And I said, "I know about the account." She went very still. "I know about the 14 months. I know about the access. I know about the transfers." Her face changed completely. "I'm not here to fight," I said. I'm here to tell you what happens next." She'd listened. When I finished, she said, You planned all of this. I had 72 hours, I said. You had 14 months. I called Daniel the next morning. No, no, no. He answered on the second ring and started talking immediately. The same words. Mistake. Sorry, you're my brother. I let him finish. Then I said, your contract with my company is terminated effective today. Legal. We'll send the paperwork this afternoon. Silence. James. The invoice you submitted last month for work, our internal team confirmed was never completed. I'll be referring that to our legal department. More silence. That's $68,000, Daniel. He said my name one more time. I hope she was worth it, I said. And I hung up. The divorce took 8 months. What came out in discovery made Rachel's case considerably weaker than she had anticipated. I kept the business. I kept the house. I started over in the same place I'd built everything, just without two people who had spent 14 months looking me in the eye. People ask me if I'm angry. Honestly, not anymore. Anger requires energy, and I decided a long time ago that I wasn't going to spend one more calorie of energy on two people who weren't worth it. Daniel got married last month. A mutual friend told me. I sent nothing. I felt nothing. I'm seeing someone now. Her name is Kate. She's direct and honest, and she makes me laugh. We've been together 8 months. She knows the whole story. She asked me once, do you trust people easily now? I said, I trust people until they give me a reason not to. I just pay closer attention. She smiled and said, good answer. Here's what I know now that I didn't know then. The two of them had 14 months to plan their next move. I only needed 72 hours. So let me ask you something before you go. If you came home and found what I found, would you walk away quietly or burn everything down? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. See you in the next one.